Welcome back to His, Hers, Wines, Whiskeys, where I try to get in the show between the footsteps from the people who have rented the unit upstairs. Guys, happy to be back.
It's wonderful, it's beautiful, boxing them in like a cubicle, applying more pressure as usual.
Hey, today, the wine, Jam Jar Sweet Blush. I have a feeling this is going to be quite delicious. And this bottle may look a little familiar for you. We have the Jeppson Bourbon, which I know that's been tapped into a little bit. We've had to actually give it an authentic try. I've had a couple other people try it as well because I wanted to come correct. And I know what you're thinking, like, if it's anything like this, you got to try it, you know. You have to try it because, as we all know, this is a 10 out of 10. So this has to be even better because it is His, Hers, Wines, Whiskeys after all. But you know how we like to start the show. We always like to start the show with a little bit of wine, you know, get our palate going a little bit. So we do have the jam jar here, Sweet Blush. A little bit about it. It's actually from the South Africa region. So we're going to go on a little safari, I hope, with this one. And it's actually from the Elephant River area. I guess it's great for growing the type of grape that makes this Sweet Blush, which is a Muscat grape. You can feel free to look that up because you should be good. You should be happy that I knew what a Muscat grape was and I was able to tell you guys that. We're learning, okay? I realized I was doing you guys a disservice by not becoming correct. So we're going to fix that, okay? We're going to fix that. So we do have the jam jar here, Sweet Blush. Give it a little sniff, you know? Okay. God, you gotta love Sweet Blush. Sweet Blushes, rosés, those are my jam. Now, it did say, okay, getting a little melon notes. It did say it did have some luscious notes of cotton candy, which I got very excited for. But I imagine that's just like the sweetness. Yeah, hints of cotton candy. You know, not getting the hints of cotton candy too much. But I do get a little bit of strawberry in there, actually. Look at that. Look at that. Check the legs here. Check the legs. I tell you what, that is a delicious wine. And 10% alcohol by volume. So it's not going to get you too ripped up, but if you have a whole bottle yourself, you're going to be feeling really good. You know, usually one or two glasses will get you there, but to each their own, as I like to say. It is kind of crazy, but I do kind of get a little bit of that strawberry, like a Jolly Rancher almost. Guys, I've been practicing. I've been working. I've been tasting stuff. I've been smelling stuff. You wouldn't believe the things I've been smelling. I walk by something, I give it a smell. An old lady, okay, because we gotta get the palate. You gotta. That's how you expand your palate and your nose for things. Like, yeah, there might be a little lemon in there. I don't know, but that's what helps. You go up to somebody like, that smells like money, dude. Yeah, it is very delicious. It has a nice sweet blush. Jam jar, they are doing it right. They are doing it right. A nod to nostalgia and taste that is different than the rest. I don't know if it's so much different than the rest, but it is delicious. So I don't know how that's not different from other wines and whiskeys that we've had on this show. But if I am going to drink this somewhere, you know what? I actually do. The cotton candy notes kind of got me a little bit. Made me think of the fair, naturally. But not just any fair. I'm thinking about, you know, when Jim was going to propose to Pam on The Office, and then Andy took the opportunity for himself to propose to Angela. I would probably, at the top of the Ferris wheel on that, I would probably take a bottle of this, you know, preferred woman from The Office that I was seeing at the time in the show, and yeah, crack open this and have a nice little office party is what I'd be doing probably. But now we have a good old Jeppson's Bourbon. For those of you who may be new to the show, we do end the show every episode with Jeppson's Malort. This is the OG baby. Carl Jeppson made this. Very innovative guy, if you will. If you've never had that, you should definitely try it. It's something you'll remember it for a lifetime. It's pretty amazing. And so now we have the Jeppson's Bourbon. I have shown this to a couple people. As I showed this to them, it was negative reactions. But guys, I'm here to say that I am excited to review the Jeppson's Bourbon. And this is just not the, the bottom of the barrel Jeppson's Bourbon. I spent a couple extra dollars. I know it's a tight budget show, but I spent a couple extra dollars to get, one of these barrel numbers, and, it's 59% alcohol, so 120 proof. So that right there tells me it's probably gonna be hot, okay? You're in the 120 proof, you might sip that and be like, so, this is where I like to take a pro move here, enter agua, and if it is too hot on the first taste, we just dilute it a little bit with some agua, and that helps with the burn a little bit, so you can get a little more of the notes. But first smell, it is okay. You do kind of get that barrel smell. I don't know if you've ever smelled a barrel that the whiskey is aged in, but yeah, just that oakiness, kind of that oak barrel. It does. When you do smell it, when you smell whiskey, here's a pro tip for you guys too, okay? His, Hers, Wines, Whiskey's pro tip that we learned from somewhere else, but we're rebranding it to you. When you smell whiskey, smell with your mouth open. I know you may not, it may not come to your mind at first, but when you do that, it actually is allowing some of the whiskey notes to flow through your mouth instead of just getting clogged up back there, which overpowers you sometimes. You're going to be able to smell the whiskey without getting all that burn in it. So I tell you, I've had this a couple of times now, and each time I have it, it does get better than the last time. I get a little less like harshness. Like the first couple times I did have to water it down because it is 120 proof, and you think it's, at first I thought it was gonna be hot, but it's actually really not. It really isn't, it's not too hot, or it's not as hot as you think it's gonna be. There's still a little burn there, got a little bite. Definitely get a little bit of that oakiness, that maybe an orange peel in there, maybe. All right, let's give 2 water scoops here. Oh, hang on. Boop. There we go. Now we'll go back in there, give it a little chew. Ooh. It's interesting. This seems like it would be really good. This would be like fantastic in a Manhattan. This, you could probably make one of the world's best Manhattans with the Jeppson's Bourbon, in my opinion. I think alone, it's still a little too hot for me. I'm still a little unexperienced in this avenue. I think it's still a little too hot for me to be able to enjoy it. But to some of the whiskey people that I have taken it to who have tried it, they have enjoyed it very much. And to them, it wasn't as hot as they were expecting. They thought it was going to really burn, and they were impressed with how, even though how good this is, how great this stood up to this. Because this was actually something that they'd be like, yeah, I will, I'll do this on a Tuesday night. I'll do this on a Wednesday night. I'll have a couple Manhattans made out of the good old Jeppson's Bourbon. A place where I would drink this. I would drink this probably in Chicago, of course. I would drink this at Wrigley Field. Matter of fact, I think this bourbon should be the official bourbon of the Chicago Cubs. And that's coming from not a Cubs fan, because I think they have such strong ties with the city of Chicago. I mean, obviously I got this from a liquor store that is, native to the Chicagoland. And it is something that it does have the nostalgia of Chicago tied into it, but it is very delicious, and you could see yourself drinking, if you were getting whiskey or Manhattan or one type of those drinks. This, I think, would stack up very well, and the Chicago Cubs fan base probably would be very excited to have this Jeppson's Bourbon in their stadium. And I know a lot of Cubs fans will come at my neck for that and say, no, we don't want Jeppson's Bourbon. That's because they've never tried it. They don't know how great it is. But if I did have to rate it, this one is probably going to get, I would say, a 7.7 out of me, because it's a lot better than you would think, which is good. Me oh my. That's just water, but still delicious. Guys, we got the good old Jeppson's Malort here. I don't have my shot glass, but if I did have my shot glass, it wouldn't even matter, because here's what we are changing up on His, Hers, Wines, Whiskeys. Besides how our set looks, obviously going through some remodels, we are going to be having our audience send in their best Malort video. And I'm excited about it because, to be honest, I think I've done enough Malort shots for the both of us, all of us, on the show here. And this is one that I think we'll only do when we have guests on the show, when we have special guests, like how we had Erin last week. She was great. Everyone loved her. I got some good reviews. We'll probably have her back on the show in the future. But yeah, the good old Jeppson's Malort. It's going to be no more until we can get some of those fan submissions, get the audience really mixed up in this bad boy. So I'm excited about it, guys. Hey, this was a great episode of His, Hers, Wines, Whiskeys. I hope you learned something. I wasn't cracking too many jokes today because, you know what? I was about the wines and the whiskeys. I was locked in. You know, it wasn't too much time to make jokes here or there. But I hope you guys enjoyed, maybe learned something, a thing or two. Jeppson's Bourbon, put it on your radar. A lot of, I think they've come correct with this one. They have come correct. So I definitely recommend giving it a shot. Guys, thanks for watching His, Hers, Wines, Whiskeys. We're only going to get better from here. Hey, make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Set 'em up with the team, trying to scope that shit, line it up with the beans. Said I'm about my bread, count it up like Eugene. Go and loot that shit, check his bag and his jeans. Talking real smoke shit, set 'em up with the team, trying to scope that shit, line it up with the beans. Said I'm about my bread, count it up like Eugene. Go and loot that shit, check his bag and his jeans. You moving so ignorant, you losing yourself. Swerve on the Yola, I'm looking for 12.